Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you may have seen from the title, today we are going to talk about the new Bugatti Bolide or Bolide. I don't know how to pronounce it, because the actual spelling is the same in three different languages: Italian, French and English. It's the same word for wow. So, but I know it's French, bolide. At the beginning I thought it was Italian word for bolide, that means something very fast. We used to call very cool and fast cars bolide. You know, when you with your friends, that's my bolide, it's my car, not my fast car. But quite disappointed, but yeah, the meaning is the same. So also a cool name for a very cool car. But let's start with this 0.67. Really? 0.67? That's the actual ratio between kilograms, the weight of the car, and the horsepower, because this car weighs 1,240 kilos. It has 1,850 horsepower. That's a lot of power. And thanks God they spent so much time working on aerodynamics, working on all the airflows that pass through the vehicle, the hot air and the cold air to refrigerate the radiators, the water cooling system, the engine cooling system. And also they spent I guess they spent a lot of time thinking about how to create very much downforce, a lot of downforce, to keep this beast planted on the ground, because I think with that very low weight and that much horsepower, I think if they didn't work on the actual downforce, the car would just fly. Anyway, let's look at some interesting numbers. Here we have 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, so it's 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.17 seconds. What? I can even imagine the g-force that you need to handle. 0 to 370. You don't even have the time to think of, oh well, I'm driving at 300 and you're right here, there. Yeah, why not? Every day, you know. 0 to 400 kilometers per hour in 12 seconds. Yeah, it's around the time that my car takes to arrive at 100. 12 seconds, yeah. And with this you're 400. Okay, now that we have talked about the numbers, and for me that was very important because the statistics of this vehicle are simply unbelievable, so it was worth going through them and analyze them very well. But now let's go into something more juicy. Let's hear the sound. Ooh. Jesus Christ. That was epic. Now let's talk about the design. Basically what they did here is taking the 8-liter W16 engine of the Chiron, lower the driving position almost like an F1, adapting all the technical components to a track use and fitting everything inside this extreme package. This animation is incredible, by the way. Now let's talk about the exterior design. Before even talking about the car itself, I want to mention a guy, Max Lask, that if you remember, on February he released his master thesis project about Bugatti's hypercar, very Le Mans futuristic. That was, in my opinion, I'm not saying that Bugatti took the project and produced it, but in some ways I think they took inspiration from the work of this guy, that by the way is amazing and I love it, and I can understand why they hired him. But let's get into the design of the actual vehicle, and let's start saying that It's incredible, it's amazing. There's nothing that I don't like, because there's not so much to say about the design, because it's totally functional driven, although there are some aesthetical aspects that of course they took care about. But I mean, being such a truck focused car, the actual design was purely driven by, as they claim, form follows performance. So I can understand that the design was so much driven by the functional aspect that we cannot stay here and say, yeah, but I don't like this line because I would prefer it to go, because if it was made like that, that was for a reason, a very strong reason. And in my opinion, they did an incredible job merging the technical and functional aspect with an extreme beauty also in the forms. And despite all the technical constraints, they managed to keep the essence of Bugatti. And we can see it, for example, from in the side view, how the C element from the Chiron to the Divo to the Bolide becomes more and more extreme. And we can see it also in the front, as the same lines are kept and evolved in a more extreme way. Another incredible job was made, in my opinion, by the Bugatti team, taking inspiration from the old racing cars of Le Mans. For example, if you see the air intake in the hood of the Bolide are reminiscent of the one of the AB110 Le Mans, but also the X shape of the DRL are reminiscent of the old vintage racing cars, where they have these white tapes on the headlamps, because in case of crash they would prevent them to shatter all the small pieces on the racetrack. Another interesting feature of the Bolide is the X shape that characterizes the design, and it actually represents the experimental nature of this concept. And Bugatti says that they took inspiration from the Bell X-1 jet aircraft that during the 1940s was the first plane to break the barrier of sound, that was piloted by Captain Chuck Yeager. And we can find the same X shape in the most prominent views of them all, like the rear view. Look at this, it's incredible. They did an amazing job. This view is insanely badass. Notice the Bugatti text written below the rear wing. Fine details that makes this car unique, and again very minimal, because there is nothing besides aero that creates this minimal rear, in which the only physical element is the LED stripe of the tail light. And with this, I think we have analyzed very much in depth the vehicle. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you watch it through, thank you for your attention. If you still haven't, don't forget to subscribe and to follow me on Instagram. If you want more videos like this, stay tuned. See you next video. Bye!